I remember when you used to tell me about all the places that you worked on down along the Ohio River, for example, building, this building and that building, and then we were together in Tunkhannock one time, and we walked into the old roller rink, and you were talking about doing the steel in the roller rink. Tell me about some of these jobs that you've done that people would still know today.
Well, a great deal of my work was related to the petroleum industry, but that is boiler craft, and I am a 70-year member of the Boilermakers. But sometimes during lack of work, we would apply for work with the iron workers, which is highly related, or possibly pipe fitters. And I served in it all. I have actually been, south of Pittsburgh on the Ohio. That was 1,206 feet to the top of the smokestack. They were going to make it 1,260, but they were monitoring the sway, and I was 1,206 feet working on. They reduced the height and put a rain cap overlapping to cover the annular space between the stack liner and the outer shell of the stack.
Now, is this
1,206 feet? That's pretty close to the limit of where I have worked.
Was that around Steubenville, Wheeling?
No, way down the river, just south of, very much closer to Wheeling, West Virginia, a little bit south of Wheeling.
Mm-hmm. And that was an electric company?
Pardon?
Was that an electric company?
Yes.
Power
yes,
company.
That was a huge. That was the. I forgot the name of the stations. They're always named in honor of some of their predecessors that were instrumental in the running, the design, and completion of the power station. The power station was given the name of that person in honor of that person. There's the John Amos plant. I won't go into that because I'm delving into my memory. But I worked on many smokestacks, water towers, radio towers, bridges, buildings. But a great share of it was steel plate construction for the storage, refining of petroleum products, plus transmission of them from one point to another via pipeline. But if you didn't have one kind of work and you had ability, all you had to do was call an employer, yes, come here, we got a job for you. And I had some skills, thank God.
Now, you spent a lot of time, like your spare time, out poking around shell middens and forts and Native American sites, didn't you, along the Ohio River?
Yes. It's indisputable that the location of many industrial sites were on old historic villages that were destroyed, abandoned, ruined as a result of the Europeans coming in and taking this land away from Native American peoples. And many, many wonderful archaeological sites are suddenly covered with houses. Now there's a little more control. Well, quite a lot more, thank heaven. And it's improved some. But nowhere can you go in the United States, or North America for that matter, if you disturb the ground and you observe it, you will find evidence of Native American occupation. Some places a lot more than others, due to the location, the existence of a good water supply, a source of food fish, shellfish, etc. That had a great deal to do with the location of these villages and Native American towns.
Did you ever explore up the Little Miami River north of Cincinnati?
Yes, and nowhere could you go without finding evidence of Native American population.
I know that you spent a lot of time on the Scioto.
Yes, in the
Scioto? How do you pronounce the Scioto?
Scioto.
Scioto.
I is always E.
Scioto.
The Scioto River.
And Chillicothe. Chillicothe?
The town of
Chillicothe.
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 Chalagata. Phonetically and spelled, it would be something like Chalagata. Chalagata. And it became Chillicothe, which is understandable. The English application to names, the English alphabet, it's understandable. But sometimes the sounds of the Native American languages are not exactly described in the vowels and consonants which are used in the spelling. And it's more or less hereditary, not hereditary, it's handed down information how you say these words.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't speak the language, when you don't converse in those things and have need for the use of those words, they slip back into obscurity. And you have to dig in your mind to remember.
Do you know anything about the history of Mad Anthony Wayne?
Yes, he was a very, very aggressive leader. I don't know what his rank was early in his life, but he became an important field officer, and maybe his highest rank was a lieutenant general. His name for his military rating was colonel for a long time. I've not kept abreast of his exact promotion, but he was a really outstanding man.
Yeah, he was through that Scioto Valley.
Yes.
I know that, and I know that I think he caused a good deal of destruction there.
Yes, tremendous amount. The concept of control of Native Americans really, basically, and tragically, was destroy their food source, burn their stored food resources, kill them, introduce diseases which are new to them that destroyed so many. The occurrence of smallpox, even the disease measles, tremendous to our people, was a new thing, a new virus. They couldn't survive it. It killed them like flies. Smallpox being the worst. Terrible. Then they were deliberately infected. I could name several instances where gift blankets became the source of the infection which caused the disease of smallpox. The tragic, sad thing. Right here, I could show you a common grave where it is said 500 Creeks, who were the predominant last culture here in this area, are buried there in a common grave that was dug with scoops, oxen, mules, and by hand, a hole, and they dumped them in there. No identification, just to get rid of them and bury them. And that was deliberate preparation for the final total occupation and ownership of white society, European peoples. In Georgia, thousands came here from Europe and the Carolinas. This is historic country, really.